I think we're ready, Jen.
Mike Dolson,
I'm here.
Tom McDonald,
Here.
Jennifer Finley,
Here.
Jim Molitor, Carol Langford, Danielle Matt, Bing Matt, James Steele Jr.,
Yes.
Martin Charlo,
Present.
Len Tuteeth,
I'm here.
Letty Trahan, and Danielle said she would be running a little late.
Give us a prayer this morning, Tom.
Creator, we'd like to thank you for this day. I'd like to thank you for all of our family and our friends, all of our communities, all of the resources that you've gifted us. Give us the wisdom, thoughtfulness, and respect we need to provide for all of those things. We pray for those who have lost loved ones. We pray for those that are ill. We pray for all those that put themselves in harm's way for our people. We pray for good decisions today. We pray for those that are traveling, they travel safe. We pray for those that have addictions, that they will have full recovery. As we proceed today in our walk, I want to pray especially for those that are doing that battle today. Do all this in your name. Amen.
We have minutes from August 19th.
Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, James.
Yeah, I think when Kathy came in, I don't know that was Danielle James with her.
Scott Gardaby.
Scott Gardapi, yes. So Abby on page 2, Kathy Ross and Danielle, or
Scott
Scott
Gardaby.
Gardapi. Thank you.
Got a motion by Martin to approve the August 19th minutes with addition. Second by Carol. All in favor? We're unanimous. We have an agenda. Anything to add to the agenda? We have 2 walk-ins. Motion by Martin to approve the agenda with addition, second by Tom. All in favor? We're unanimous. We'll go to our walk-ins. Catherine Baylor, come on up. Good morning. Good morning. And if you could turn a microphone on in front of you there, that'd be helpful.
Okay. Here, you sit right here by mommy. And then you can talk, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Good morning, council members. My name is Catherine Baylor, and this is my daughter, Kenna. We want to thank you for allowing us time to speak with you today. Sorry, I'm out of breath. Kenna's 4 years old. She's a proud jingle dress dancer and was recently crowned the Arlie Tiny Tot Princess. She was born with Down syndrome, and everywhere she dances, she shows that beauty, strength, and joy of our children. She inspires other Native families and children with disabilities, showing them that they too belong in every space, especially in the powwow circle. What makes her journey so special is that Kenna has been sought out personally and invited by other royalty to attend their powwows. In fact, the Comanche Nation princess herself invited Kenna to attend their celebration. She isn't just showing up, she's being recognized and welcomed by leaders in royalty across Indian country. Through this, she's not only representing herself, but also bringing positive attention to children with Down syndrome, to CSKT, and to the community who stand with her and lift her up. This summer, Kenna's already danced at many powwows, and she still has several upcoming powwows. And at each of these gatherings, Kenna carries herself with pride, representing not only herself, but our tribe and our values of healing, inclusion, and cultural strength. She is helping lift awareness throughout Turtle Island, showing the beauty of our people, the strength in our community, and the importance of making sure every child has a place in our traditions. So we are here today to respectfully request sponsorship from the tribe to help support Kenna's powwow journey. These funds would assist with travel and the opportunity for Kenna to continue representing our community in a positive and visible way across Indian country. Kenna's journey is bigger than us. It's about visibility, inclusion, and showing that every child in our tribe has a place in our traditions. Your support would help her continue to carry our tribe's name proudly wherever she dances. And thank you guys for your time and consideration. And so we kind of put together a sponsorship request for you guys. We have been running 50/50s. We've been doing a lot of raffles. The community has been very gracious towards her and helping us get her where she needs to go. But she does have some pretty big powwows coming up that, they're gonna be it's not really obtainable for us cost-wise. So we wanted to come request some help for that. And Kenna would like to introduce herself. She has her whole introduction too. Go ahead. You say hi? Or you're being shy now? Do you say hi? Say my name is Kenna. How old are you? Say I'm 4 years old. You say thank you? Okay, well, go ahead. Say what you need to say. Okay.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Given the uniqueness of Kenna, I would proudly make the motion to sponsor her on behalf of the tribes.
I got a Carol. Oh, okay. So I get motion by Tom to sponsor. Second by Jimmy. All in favor? It'd be nice to know. Yeah.
I kind of put together at the second page, about it would cost between 3,800 and 5,300. It was just kind of like an estimate because we weren't sure.
You want to put a level on that, Tom?
5,000.
Up to 5,000? Carol.
I was gonna say, I don't know if we've given that much before, but I was gonna say 2,000 and then maybe have her make the request to the corporations, but I'm not the motioner, so I'll just be fine.
Well, I'll call for the vote again just to go through. Up to 5,000.
It's pretty.
Are we okay? Unanimous? Good luck,
Thank you so much. We appreciate your guys' help.
Jennifer.
And then we have CT next. You say thank you.
Gonna take CT next. Come on up, CT. Tell us how bad we're burning.
Good morning. So I just want to give you a quick update. We did have 2 lightning caused fires from what was that, Tuesday night's storm? And as you see on there, Minesinger and Jocko. So Minesinger's just right up here. They were able to get into it last night and put a line around it. And they're sending more people in. They got back about 1:30 in the morning. That was actually Daryl and Rich Fisher. And then Jocko was right at the end of shift last night with the helicopter. They flew it. Jock Graham gave the update of 1 acre-ish. And we're looking to put jumpers in there today. It's right above the Jocko Lakes there, kind of where the 2017 fire was. Pretty nasty, steep country. So they probably wouldn't be able to jump right into the fire. They might have to go down to the lake and hike up, or if they want to jump, then maybe Jocko Prairie, and there is a LZ right there, so they can land the helicopter there. So sometimes they're kind of hard-headed and want to jump. So, and then the mile marker 91 is looking pretty good. Jake Durgalo took that over yesterday as a type 4 incident. He said 20 to 30% containment. I just left it at 20. And then the little CPay fire, 9 acres, 75%. It's looking really good. And then the Magpie fire is out. I want to bring up that map. Sure.
Were we able to get all of our tribal contractors out?
Yes. Yep. I don't know if there's anyone left, you know.
Right.
Looks like everybody's busy. So this is the Knolls fire. This is the one that's off the reservation, between, mile marker 91 fire and Paradise. As you see, it's grown to 2,000 acres. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just the big red one in the middle, right? Yeah, so you guys all see that on your map. So that went to 2,000 acres yesterday. It is pushing the border of the reservation. Robert McCrae, Josh Williams from Oklahoma, Justin Underwood are actually helping with that fire now that they got released from the mile marker 91 fire. They're looking to do a burn today. They tried to do it yesterday. It didn't work out. So today they'll look to do it again, helping out that team, the type 2 team out of Missoula. We had a community meeting yesterday on it in Plains. Ron went over to the planning meeting, and Justin also, and they feel pretty good about it. It's gonna get hot today, and we're just trying to keep it off tribal land. Any questions?
Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, thank you. CT, they appear to be all human caused. Do you know what?
Yes, so on these 4, yes, definitely human cause. A train is suspected, but you know, for us to finish the investigation and get through it. A good thing is the main guy that's doing the Knowles fire, he was also on the River Road East fire that's doing the investigation. So he's doing all the legwork for us on the maintenance records on the train. All trains have cameras now, I guess. So, I mean, he knows all, you know, from 2 years ago. So he's going to give us all that, you know, all that information when he has it all acquired. And then we did have quite a bit of voluntary statements, people that saw, you know, the fire kind of actually get started. So one of them was our engine boss. She was at the CPay staging at CPay gravel pit there, and the train went by, and then there was smoke.
Did we get compensation for that other fire?
River Road East?
Yeah.
No.
Did it burn on?
It did get out. It went up McLaughlin.
Oh, it didn't spill over?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We thought it was definitely, yeah, we sat over there for a couple of days waiting for it, and it never did.
But everybody else got compensation?
No, they did not.
So nobody.
State is actually looking into it this time because it's right on state land again. So it's burning into the old scar on that end of the River Road East. And then it's kind of bumping around. If they have to, they're going to bring it into our old burn that we did this spring, which would put it on us, you know, but that's what they're trying to figure out today.
Any other questions?
And
Okay.
we're positive there's probably some more lightning strikes out there. You know, that was a pretty good show the other night, and for only 2 to pop up. Then we had I'm sorry. I did forget a fire on there. 3 Lakes Peak, CPay Peak fire was there for 2 weeks. It's about 1 acre. I forgot about that. It was right on the border. So.
Have a good day. Morning, Robert. Come on up.
Can we go into executive?
We will go out of regular into executive. And have. Morning, Mike. Mark. Morning, Carrie. Come up. Yeah. You say you're handing out 20 bucks?
Thank you, sir.
Lamb.
Bob Bigger is also working on a hard copy of the publication we did for the White Park thing. Did off.
Cool.
Bicultural representation, White Park. I'll get that copy of that.
Cool. Good, Carrie.
Got backup?
Not today. Uh, Good morning, Chairman and Council. Thanks for having me in this morning. Whisper and I were in on Tuesday and got the Yellowstone bison hunting regulations approved for public comment, I think. And what we later that day, we had our kind of larger bison hunt planning meeting, and we realized that we need to advertise our orientation classes. And one thing that we forgot to do when we were here on Tuesday was just confirm, the requirements for who needs to take that orientation this year. Last year, we had just had new hunters and those that are being designated hunters required to take the orientation because 2 years ago, we'd made it mandatory for all hunters to take that course before getting their permits. And, 2 years ago was when we had some pretty big changes to the regulations, but kind of since then, it's just been date changes and there haven't really been any issues over at Yellowstone while hunting. So we're proposing that this year again, that the only ones required to take that orientation are new hunters and then designated hunters.
Questions, Carrie? Need a motion to make that happen?
Mr. I make the motion to carry forward as continuation of last year's for only new hunters and designated hunters to attend the orientation for Yellowstone bison hunt.
Motion by Tom, second by Bing. All in favor? We're unanimous.
Thank you very much.
Carrie.
We'll get that orientation schedule out next week.
Jen?
Before No. Mark has a quick little information before you guys recess.
Morning, Council, Chairman, Vice Chair. Last night I got a call from the logistics chief for the tribes. The Forest Service logistic chiefs got a hold of him. They needed to get a repeater placed up on a peak on the reservation, even though the Knowles Creek fire, they're in management of it off res. It has creeped onto the reservation. There is no real need for like any easements or anything like that. It's just remote. It's just stationary until the fire's over. That'll be removed. It's just for the safety and communications. They're going to be having that placed on the reservation, getting that placed in today and giving me the actual location, hopefully this afternoon or tomorrow. I just wanted to let council know that the authorization was given. If any calls or anything come in, if they see in the Forest Service crews going up Clear Creek area to get up to that peak. So just wanted to give council a update on that because our crews will be using that same repeater since it is got the footprint on the reservation.
Go ahead, Ron.
Yeah, it'll be at Perma Point across, on the reservation across from that Knowles Creek fire. So Perma Point.
Tom?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ron, given the fact that we don't have a on-site superintendent, how are things going with BIA and your fire situations?
We got a bunch of the regional office showed up last night, so we got some support there. And Dawn Davis we had a Zoom call yesterday. She was part of the briefing, had a discussion on the cost share with the state representative. So she's engaged, but it's the first rodeo for her. So I think the region's really going to help her step up. Biggest thing for her right now is going to be the cost share agreement. And we got to get that in place since it's a state fire. there will be a cost share agreement. Right now, I think the debate is acres, just divide it down the line by acres. So I think that's an easy way to maneuver. So right now it's 1.4 million as of yesterday, with 1 million of it in aircraft. So yeah, heavy aircraft.
Any other questions? Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, one question about, it reminded me of the, I think fire activity, and I had asked Zach Campbell where he was with his fire mitigation plan that he's written or drafted. I don't know if you've reviewed it or not, but it's at legal department. But I know that in funding like bear funding, there's money there to replace power poles if they burn up and things like that. That didn't occur, I don't think that's ever occurred on the reservation yet. So I just wanted to make sure that we get that far along where there's kind of a damage that we make sure that we include that so the ratepayers aren't paying for that if there's funding from other sources.
That would be, yeah, so we've talked with the region. I mean, the region really oversees all the money that exchanges, since they have the responsibility of that. The tribes do not want no part of it. And we've sent requests forward, and I think they've been denied, like a tort claim, I want to say, for the Boulder 2700 fire and a few others. So yeah, that's definitely on the screen. A lot of money, a lot of infrastructure. So yeah.
Thanks, Ron. Thanks, Mark.
Any questions about the fire? I heard we had some questions about contract equipment or something that CT was supposed
I'll
to.
always get questions on
Okay.
contract equipment.
I'll be available by phone if you guys want to get a hold of me. I know you guys are busy, so. We did order up 2 Type 6s for the Knowles Creek fire. So the Knowles Creek is letting Devin order resources for our side. And we're going travel prep. So we got Franny Cahoon's Type 6 on and TJ Haynes, and then she's trying to fill, looks like a Type 2 Skidgen. We do have 2 masticators that are tribal and a Type 3 water tender that is tribal on our side of the Knowles Creek fire. And right now it's a small print, but it looks like it's going to be, we're going to have a significant print on our side. Okay.
Carol, go ahead.
Yeah, Franny had a question the other day and I got an answer from Tony on that, so I
Okay.
got it back to Franny, so it's okay.
I'll just leave some maps. I mean, you can take one, I guess, if you want, but it's, this map has our fire in their fires and the res boundary and some proposed lines. This map is an IR flight from last night. They're flying it daily, and I'll have CT distribute these to the tribe, but that's just the Knowles Creek fire. Ours, it won't be on any maps from now on because it's not moving. We've got it locked in. Oh, that's great. Plains. Yeah, it's in Plains. Okay. All right, Lamnin.
Thanks, Ron. We are on recess until 1 o'clock. And everybody be safe. Good afternoon. Welcome, everybody. Katie, Jeremy, and company, come on up. And welcome.
Good afternoon, Chairman, members of council. Today we have our new forest supervisor from the Lolo National Forest, Ben Johnson. And we've got some staff here as well as we have our CSKT staff in the back. Yesterday we had a really good meeting with our IDT team as well as the Lolo National Forest team as well to kind of continue communication for the forest management plan. So today's an opportunity for everyone to get to meet Ben and ask some questions, and we can dive into some of the future that we've got going between CSKT and Lolo National Forest. I'll let everybody introduce themselves.
Yeah, thank you very much. And good afternoon, Chairman and other council members. I'll just say quickly, I'm Ben Johnson, and let everyone else go, and then I'll get a little bit more of a background. Hello, everybody. Again, Justin Moschel, Heritage Program Manager and Tribal Liaison for the Lolo National Forest.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Stacy Allen. I'm the Plan Revision Team Lead for the Lolo Plan Revision effort.
All right, well, thank y'all. So again, a pleasure to be here today. Fun to get to drive up to this part of the state and see y'all's community. I'm new to the state, which you'll soon learn more about me. So it's always fun to get out of Missoula and on the highway. So like I said, Ben Johnson, I started as the forest supervisor on June 30th for the Lolo National Forest. And I've been doing a lot of introductions, so it's good to finally get up here. And the way I've been kind of describing my background and who I am is kind of in two parts. There's the professional side of things and the personal side of things. So we'll go professional first, because it's not as fun as the personal, and we'll end with that one. So yeah, like I said, new position, but prior to this, I worked for the Forest Service Washington office for about 10 years. Most recently, I was the Assistant Director for Recreation, Heritage, and Volunteer Resources out of the national office. I did have the pleasure, though, of doing that position from Bellingham, Washington. So I did not move here from Washington, D.C. I came here from Washington State. So I was there about 8 years. In that position, I oversaw a lot of different programs that were all fun and special and unique in their own ways. But the National Trails Program, special use permits, ski areas, dispersed recreation, shooting sports, landscape architecture, travel management, and a couple other ones that someone's probably mad that I can't remember at the moment. I did that about 1.5 years, and prior to that, I managed the National Recreation Special Uses Program for the agency. So that's all the outfitters and guides, private resorts, trail runs, mountain bike races, all that sort of stuff. And then previous roles with the agency, I worked on the Arapahoe and Roosevelt National Forest in Boulder, Colorado, and I started my career on the Coronado National Forest in Tucson, Arizona. From an education standpoint, I went to the University of Michigan for grad school, Master's of Public Policy and a Master's of Science. Before I went to grad school, I did my seasonal time of life. I worked as a climbing guide and canyoneering guide kind of out west and on the East Coast. And you may not guess it, but I grew up in Fort Worth, Texas, went to college near Austin. And this is kind of going into the personal side, but my dad's a lawyer. My mom ran nonprofits for her career. I've got a wonderful wife of 10 years and 2 boys, a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. So in many ways, my day job is a lot simpler than when I get home and deal with that energy at night. But, I'm really excited to be here and in this new position. This is the sort of job that I had on my radar to do in the future after what I was doing in the DC office. And as we've all seen, things move and change quickly when the right pressure is applied. And this opened up for me, and so I jumped on it. So excited to be here. Transitioning to forest plan revision, obviously I'm new, right? I'm 7 weeks in, so I will make no promises that I have memorized every plan component and section of the document that we have in the works. That's fortunately why Stacy is here to answer some of those more in-depth questions. But I'm excited to jump kind of feet first into it. Getting a lot of briefings from the plan revision team on specific topics. Had good chat with Justin this morning on some of the issues from the Heritage and Tribal Relations Program. And so excited to get into it and get to work. I want to do a little bit of a recast because a lot for the Lolo has changed since December of this year. So first off, Carolyn retired. Carolyn Upton, former forest supervisor, retired at the end of the month. Very fortunate to have Jeremy Casterson jump in as the acting forest supervisor from that time until when I arrived at the end of June, beginning of July. He was planning on being here today, but turns out we have a handful of fires in the Missoula area, so he is off doing agency administrator stuff today. So there's that staffing shift, leadership shift for the Lolo. And then at the same time, there's a lot of shifts generally in the federal government and in the Forest Service. So as we know, in January, new administration came in. With every administration, there's always a slowdown and a change as priorities get readjusted, reset. That certainly has happened in this administration transition as well. And then, of course, this administration has a specific view on how they see the function and role of the federal government. And so that has definitely impacted sort of our outlook on how we're implementing programs and things of that nature. There's also been the beginnings of those policy shifts, right? And those affect a lot of the work that y'all have done with the Lolo and that we will do together into the future. And some of those kind of directly affect plan revision, or at least have the potential to. So a couple of those big ones. First, NEPA, our favorite acronym. There is a new interim regulation around how the department implements NEPA analysis now. And so we are still trying to figure out exactly how that may or may not affect the plan revision process in terms of needed steps and timelines. A lot of this stuff that I'm talking about now is fairly new, and us at the forest level, we're kind of still waiting for some guidance from the DC office and above to tell us exactly how they think we should implement this. There's also been a number of executive orders that I'm sure y'all are aware of many of them. Active management, energy and minerals production, wildfire suppression. Those are all things that are now maybe less so in the plan revision side, but certainly in terms of like what our program of work looks like for the forest, that has an influence. And so we're trying to come to terms with that and how we adjust our work. And then another big one that may have some implications for the Lolo Forest Plan is the announcement that the roadless rule from 2001 will be rescinded. That has not occurred yet, just an announcement. My understanding of the process is that there will have to be an environmental impact statement, there will have to be notice and comment, et cetera. So opportunities for the public and our other government friends to comment and make your position known there. But I imagine that will be a relatively longer process than some of the other sort of short-term policy memos that have gone out. But again, one thing we're trying to figure out working with Stacy and the plan revision team is we have our plan revision timeline, and now we have this pretty large policy rulemaking effort layered on top of it with the roadless stuff. And how does that match up? And what do we need to do to make sure that we are moving forward with plan revision while also making sure that we're, coming in line with some of those new policies that are coming out. So definitely don't have all the answers on that one. And as we know more, we will share what that direction looks like. So that's the policy side. And then before I think maybe turn it over to Stacy, and then I guess we'll go for questions. Probably should have worked that out. Couple things from my point of view. When I think of plan revision, it's very important to me that we keep building on the foundation of kind of open public engagement that's been laid so far over the last 2 to 3 years around plan revision. And yes, I was not here for that, but that's a tenet of kind of who I am as a professional and as a person. And so I want to keep moving forward with that and look forward to doing that with y'all. So we're still wanting to keep being transparent, keep open with the policy process and the plan revision process. As we know more, we will share what we know and how it affects the plan. Committed to using best available science, committing to our partnership with y'all. The one part that I have read of the plan, I think, is chapter 1, which has a lot of the content and knowledge that came from this group and y'all's community around the tribal and indigenous heritage and history of the Lolo area. And so thank you for that. And I look forward to building upon that. Then the final thing is, reach out. I'll make sure that everyone has my contact information, and give me a call. I want to learn about you and want y'all to learn a little bit more about me. So I guess Stacy or Justin.
I think Tom has a question for you right now.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Jason, Stacy, and Ben, thank you for coming in today. And Ben, congratulations on your new post. And I guess just wanting to know a little bit more about your background, because we are a treaty tribe, the Stevens Treaty Tribe, and when we look at federal lands, we consider ourselves an owner of that, still a stakeholder. We have property rights, use rights on your forest that you're managing. So can you tell me any relevant experience you have related to dealing with tribes and trust resources?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. So certainly I guess first I'll start with, I have a recreation background, and this isn't gonna, I'm not speaking to specific interactions with tribes, but I certainly know that recreation is, especially since kind of the COVID pandemic era, and since then, recreation and the increase of recreational use, at least from my experience, is an ever important issue to our tribal partners on public lands and national forest system lands. So that's something that I'm definitely acutely aware of and look forward to talking with y'all more about in terms of how that affects the Lolo. My most distinct probably interaction with working with tribes directly was actually in grad school. So at Michigan, we don't do theses there. We do master's projects, which looking back is sort of like probably more of a benefit to the students than the people we serve in them. But we did do my master's projects with the Hannahville Indian community up in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. And so I spent a lot of time trying to work with those folks on what they could do with some forested land that they owned, and were interested in thinking about ways to kind of help their community with it. And so that was a wonderful experience, and also got to visit with the Menominee for a little bit in Wisconsin and see kind of their timber operations that I know are often touted. So yeah, that would be the most direct answer to your question.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Jennifer.
Yeah, that's so interesting. I've actually been to Hannahville and I've been in the UP. I'm a writer and I was part of a group of artists that went up in that area and did work and did presentations in Hannahville and at Northern Michigan University.
Yeah, in Marquette.
Marquette,
Yeah.
yes, that's where we stayed. And it was the windiest place I've ever been. And the plane so half of our group landed first and half landed later, and they couldn't land there because they said the wind was so strong it would flip the plane over.
It wouldn't surprise me. And so I never lived in the UP, and so I would be considered a troll because I lived under the bridge that connects the UP and the lower part of Michigan. But
Very beautiful area though. Very beautiful.
Yep.
Welcome.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for coming.
Other question? Go ahead, Tom.
This one I used to be a outdoor recreational manager myself, in a previous lifetime. One of the difficulties we have in outdoor recreation on our perimeter, our boundaries is spillover from Forest Service. So we have like cultural areas or special use areas, and sometimes the use on the Forest Service land can impact our resources on the reservation, because a lot of times out there in the high mountain country, nobody knows boundaries. They don't know what's up. But so we end up with the illegal snowmobiling or just simple trespass into closed areas that we have. Our very first closed area on the reservation here had to be placed because of the amount of recreation coming up from the rattlesnake
Oh, okay.
in the Lolo National Forest. And consequently, we created our South Fork of the Jocko primitive area because we were overrun with Missoulians and people that weren't there. People couldn't practice our cultural practices. There wasn't any solitude. There wasn't any hunting and fishing was being overwhelmed by people who weren't members of our tribe. So that's an ongoing effect that we're always battling. And so it's a consideration for forest recreational planning when you have the reservation adjacent lands, and what that might impact. So make sure you're aware of that. But as I know you would be, Ben. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And we were actually talking, I think last week, about one of the things we want to revisit and make sure we're putting, good effort into is looking at all those boundaries. Like what are we thinking about on our side, and how does that compare to what CSKT is thinking about on y'all's side, and making sure there's alignment as best as possible on that. So I think that could play into that point.
I could kind of elaborate, if I can elaborate more. So our major plan now where we are is it kind of bleeding over into a little bit of what Katie said earlier with our staff engagements, and a little bit into what Stacy is going to potentially talk about. Is we're really pushing for staff to staff engagement, right? And yesterday we had such a great kickoff meeting, and I think the momentum is very strong. And one of the notes that we took back is, you know, recreation and travel management. And so as we move forward with staff-to-staff engagement, I'm sure that's going to get teased out between the two parties, right? As we go through that. And so I guess just to make sure that we should be looking for that later on in the plan.
Anything else? Thank you, Justin. Go ahead, Stace.
Thank you. Well, thank you. Happy to be here and meet all of you. It's really a privilege. I've been the plan revision team leader now for about 5 months, so I'm pretty new to this effort. I actually sit on the Flathead National Forest. I work out of the Hungry Horse District office. I started working in planning about 15 years ago when I started working on the Flathead, and I did work on their plan revision effort. So I am familiar with, to some extent, with working with you all at that time. So that planning team did come and present, and I do see that on the Lolo that there's a bigger effort to really collaborate a lot more with the tribe. So I think I'm really excited about that opportunity. I also have worked on other plan revision efforts, including in Utah with the Ashley National Forest, and we worked really closely with the Ute Indian tribe as well. So I do have some experience working with tribes and collaborating with tribes. So yeah, and as Justin said, and Katie, we had a great meeting yesterday, and we think we're at a really good juncture right now with the draft plan to really start sharing that information with your staff and see how it aligns with your forest management plan that is in the midst of being revised as well. So it's really an exciting, opportunity really to work closely together and make sure that we're all on the same page in terms of how we're thinking about management of this landscape. And yeah, definitely very important to look at how, like the land allocation piece, like we do have a number of designated wilderness, we have a few designated wilderness. We have a number of recommended wilderness, backcountry areas, connectivity areas for wildlife, acquired lands, restoration emphasis lands. So there's really an effort to try and think kind of holistically, how can we manage the ecosystems, improve the ecosystems, and really at the same time, recognizing the importance of multiple use, timber production, especially, but there has to be a balance. So it's always a plan revision is always a really challenging effort. I've found multiple year effort. So we're right in the middle of it, frankly, with the draft plan close to being shared out. And this following next year, I think will be a year where we'll be doing a lot more work with our partners around, getting comments from folks, but also just fine tuning what we need to for the plan direction. So yeah, I'll leave it at that, but I'm very excited to be able to work with you. Thank you.
Any other thoughts or questions? Go ahead, Katie.
Thank you, Chairman. I wanted to add, though, that CSKT currently has a MOU with the Lolo National Forest, which allows us to be co-authors as well as really spearheads a lot of that continuing consultation between CSKT and the Lolo National Forest. And what makes that unique as well is that, as we all know, we could identify that the Nez Perce tribe also has boundary territories as well. And so what makes us unique is that CSKT being part of that co-author, as some of our discussions yesterday is what we're communicating to the overall resource group, is that there's a priority for CSKT to have more of the main voice. As Justin and I were communicating yesterday, is that with the Nimipu people, they'll have their special focus as well as, very resource based of what's important to them. CSKT will do their part. And so the whole idea with that MOU is continuing that consultation. And so being able to utilize my position as well as getting those staff to staff coordinating, in the past myself, Sadie Pion, and a few other staff members such as Whisper and a few folks, we're able to be on that communication list as well. When a few years ago, we were working with a different RFP group to try to kind of, get some momentum going with that, of the draft at least of the FMP before Carolyn had retired. So it was exciting to have Stacy and the rest of the group there to be able to kind of get on that same page, identify what our current goals are. And really, it's a unique opportunity to have this much influence of a relationship and understanding of CSKT culture, to be able to have a lot of that language spearheading what's important to CSKT, because these forest management plans, last up to 20 years. So we're really going to be working hard on identifying priorities on the CSKT aspect, but something that management allows us to be able to have this document that'll be fruitful for administration changes as the years go on. So I'm really excited to work with Stacy and the rest of the group here. We've got a lot of, as we know, amazing staff on the resource side for CSKT. So it's just more opportunities for a lot of critical thinking, coming back and doing some small presentations to council for updates, approvals, and of course, going to both of our culture committees as well.
I've noted that in the memorandum, there's specific names that need to be updated, so.
Oh, you caught that? No, that's something that on a staff level, Justin had been able to meet with the Tribal Preservation Department, as well as we have a new TIPO. And so there's a little bit of things there that we'll have to adjust, but overall, we're still pretty comfortable of what the outline of that MOU is, because we really think that highlights exactly what we need to be doing and staying focused of what the priorities are for that engagement. So yeah, we'll be getting that updated.
Any other questions? We look forward to the plan and how it moves forward. You bet. And I got a lot of confidence in our team, and it's good to meet you all. And I hear that y'all.
Yeah, there's a lot of things wrong with people from Texas, but that's the one thing I've held on to, I guess. And I do say it a lot, so I apologize in advance. Should have noted that.
And I've recently learned you got to cheer for Go Blue.
That is also true. Yes.
Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a couple of things I want to make sure that, there's been great conversations with the Forest Service and Tony and other staff here, including Ms. McDonald, have been great advocates for us and working with the National Forest System, and the forest. All of forests are so important to us. We still consider them our lands, and but there's problems out there. We get a little bit concerned about Good Neighbor Authority in the state just coming in and managing things. And what about us? We believe we're more capable than the state of Montana is in resource management. And so we want to make sure that we're at the table with that. But one of the more problematic things, maybe not so much on the Lolo, but when I hear that, there's this mining opportunity here or some extractive minerals here, and those proposals, either on the Bitterroot or on the Kootenai or whatever, our national forests, those are very concerning for us, because we find that those extractive uses like that very rarely turn out good for the resource or for us in our uses on the landscape. So those concerns are very part. So when we hear of something like that, and of course you'll let us know if there's something like that for the Lolo, but we just really have a lot of concern for that, and it's been a big struggle for us on the landscape. So I want to make sure you're aware of that. So thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
Katie, quick question. How long have the Salish had a presence in that forest?
Since time immemorial. I'll have to get you guys one of those really nice timeline posters that come out of SQCC for the place name project. I always think that, so we should probably have it right there with the seal, so when people come in and present, they know exactly who they're talking to and how long we've been here.
I've always had fun with the farmers in our area. They talk about, well, I've been farming here for 3 generations. Oh, you really want to go there? Really? How about 700 generations? Thank you. Go ahead, Justin.
If I might, please, I'd like to make a comment to Councilman McDonald about the, consulting with CSKT on projects. And granted, I've only been here roughly about, going on 3 years. And, I'm trying to work very closely with, Kevin Askin and the Preservation Department on, reviewing projects on a quarterly or more basis and what we are going forward with. And so I just wanted to assure you guys that it's going to get more and more in depth as time grows and those relationships grow in being able to make sure that the tribe is upfront and present in all projects.
Appreciate that. Anything else? Go ahead, Katie.
One last comment, just because I think it was perfect for a lot of the conversations that we continue to have with land managers surrounding the reservation and the border of, land management and practices. I really encouraged, and I think it's understood, both from the Lolo side and as well as our cultural, our resource teams from CSKT is that, as we are coming up with implementation plans and management plans, that we're going to continue to try to use this for further conversations. As you guys know, surrounding our reservation line, we've got private, we've got state, we've got, some other folks that we have been continuing to build that bridge of communication and getting to understand those folks. And so I really feel like what we can pour into this management plan is something that we can continue to use that wheel as we're working with other agencies who are almost kind of chomping at the bit to continue to work with CSKT. So we'll have future agreements coming up. We'll have all sorts of things, all sorts of good things I think that could come from this experience of being able to work with a force that is really excited to work with the tribe.
Well, thank you all. And thank you to our team too.
That's right, Katie.
You looking to bid, are you?
Keep your eyes off those, Katie.
Jennifer?
Can we go into executive for the next issue?
Yeah,
Oh.
we will go out of regular into executive.
Yeah, Melissa and Dan wanted to talk to you guys first.
Motion by Carol to move forward with the gaming compact as it's been presented. A second from Jimmy. Any other thoughts? All in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All opposed? 1. Where you at, Bing? Abstain? I got 7, 4, 2 opposed, Len and myself, and Bing abstains. Motion passes. Anything else? Chahoy. Thank you all.